Well, so that album goes double platinum, and then you put out your third album,
Yeah,
Pleasures You Like.
yeah,
And that seemed to have more of a hip hop kind of influence.
yeah. Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, well, Nas is on it
Yeah, a lot of hip hop
for
artists are on
on
there.
Finer Things.
Yeah,
How did
yeah.
Nas get on your song?
Well, I wanted Nas. I was like,
There
I
you go.
produce, this type of music as well. It was very, very much influenced by Sade, that track, Stuart Matthewman, Sweetback. I love the smoothness and simplicity of their arrangements, and so like I kind of tried to come up with my own little vibe like that. And when I had that track, I thought this has got Nas's vibe. Like he would sound so dope, his tone and everything. And he hadn't even heard the track, but we said we want to make a collaboration happen. He was in LA, and next thing you know, I come home and Nas is playing pool in my living room, and I'm like, man, what? Like, are you serious? Like, you ready to do this? And he went down there in the studio and started writing to it. And the first thing he wrote was insane. It was amazing. So he went in there and he recorded, and then he's like, I don't like it. So we went in there, and I had to wait another, like, however long it was, and he took his time, man. This guy wasn't messing around at all. He wrote a completely brand new record, which was Final Things, and we recorded that. And he was very, very much of a, I love collaborating with artists in the studio together, putting our heads together. He's very much that's probably one of the dopest collaborations next to right along with the Tupac collaboration.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, I need a word here. What's a word that can, like who was, such and such's girlfriend back in the 50s, and I'm going, we have to think back and of a word that'll rhyme with the whatever. And so, yeah, to having even just being a fly on the wall of Nas's process, being a fan of his music, as a lyricist, as an MC, and really that terminology is used very lightly now. MC is like, I feel like I was in the room with some of the realest MCs there ever was.
Yeah.
And just being able to have that be a part of something that I can say will always be something that I take pride in, like living for collaborations like that, So yeah, the song Final Things is definitely, it'll stand up there and as one of those gems for me, yeah.
Well, that third album goes platinum.
Yeah.
You're pretty much 3 for 3 at this point. Is the money rolling in at this point by album number 3? Are you rich now?
I mean, well, we'll say this. I wrote primarily almost every song on these albums.
Aha.
And produced almost every song on
So
these
you're
albums.
getting the whole publishing check.
So,
you're
yeah, so
getting
it's not, and
the math.
performing and stuff, so it's like,
Yeah.
the money was there, and being a writer and producer of your own music is far more lucrative because, there's so many different areas to make a profit in terms of like what you're doing, how much money are you spending to promote your music and to make videos and to go on tour and then how much of it actually is being recouped, you know what I mean? And so that there can actually be a profit. And so yeah, I saw a profit because we were doing smart business. And Epic was an incredible company to work with. Edmonds were incredible people to work with. So
So it
I
was
had,
Yab Yum under Epic?
yeah, I would say just call it the Edmonds Record Group.
Okay.
Back then is what they called it, ERG, and Sony Epic, yeah, and 550 and Polly Anthony over there was my president, and she, and then also with the Epic international as well, because it wasn't just United States. I had an international deal, so I was able to go all over the world. My first album and have. I had a #1 in Kuala Lumpur. It's funny. My only #1 in the world, but it was in Singapore, what I mean? So, yeah, I went there and I heard my song on the radio, Pretty Girl, like 10 times in one day. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, so you have these 3 albums, and they all go platinum. Then the 4th album, Stronger Every Day. Are you still on Yab Yum at this point?
So now you're going to make me think back and have to do my research here. So this is where it all sort of comes kind of gets a little bit weird. Is Stronger Every Day was when all of the labels, major labels, were doing a sort of like everyone was rearranging their
mergers and so forth.
Mergers. All the old people that were working for the labels were sort of being, moving, leaving the labels. So all of my team that was set up at Sony was sort of like being, removed, and also in the Edmund situation, it was all kind of changing around a lot too as well. And so I made a move to work with Matthew Knowles at the time, which was
Beyonce's dad.
Yeah,
right.
Which was Sanctuary Records, and we were going to do some cool things. One of the collaborations I was really excited about doing on that album, Stronger Every Day, was a song written by Tank, and it was called Lately. It was the first single from the album, and there's another collaboration on there. It was with Beanie Man, and we went out to Jamaica to do that, and that was really cool. We collaborate with Beanie in Kingston, Jamaica, out there, and
Dope.
just get the vibes of the islands. You know what I mean? On that record, so that album had something in its own to offer that I had really, hadn't done that yet, and I was excited to show a dance hall influence, for the first time, and to show, a collaboration with Tank, because Tank was sort of new at the time. He was making his up and coming, ascension as a writer, songwriter, producer, artist. So he sang on the backgrounds with me on that, and that was definitely cool. And as well as the song, is the song Through the Fire on there? Is that on there? Yeah. Through the Fire with Scarface?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was another one that was very special from that album. Getting to collaborate, like I said, I'm a huge hip hop head. So, I mean, being able to work with Scarface, get to talk to him on the phone and say, let's write a record about having vices. Let's write a record about, just that dark side of entertainment. And let's do it in a metaphoric way. Let's talk about literally walking through the fire. You know what I mean? And so that was sort of like the first kind of the first kind of record like that I'd ever tried to write, and to have someone with that almost Martin Luther King-esque preacher kind of type of swag, he's got that. It's just such a spirit in his voice when you hear him talk. Even on the phone, he sounds the same.
I know Scarface. Yeah, me and him. We talk.
Yeah,
we've done interviews, but we also talk.
He's profound,
Oh yeah.
And so, like, to have him, that was sort of like almost like the second coming of Pac for me. To work with his voice, it was like almost like the aftermath of that. It was like, okay, someone profound like that to be on my record like that. It was. It's a trip, man. I've been so blessed to work with some of my favorites. Each of these artists have something different to offer, but there's a common bond between them all, because they were all legends in their own right, had something extremely important to give me that they left behind. And Scarface is still here, so I want to say big up to him and everything that he does, because he's still smashing. His last album was crazy. I loved it.
Yeah, his last album was dope.
Yeah, he's still very much one of my favorite voices in hip hop. Yeah.